Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie, and we are going to be talking about Love is Blind, season 9, episodes 1 through 11. But we're going to be doing it per couple. In this video, we're going to be talking about Jordan and Meagan, and has her sparkle fizz down to just crumbles. Let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, to my consistent reviews. All the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice.
Well, hello, everybody. I am so excited to be doing this. We're going to be talking about Love is Blind. I have chosen my first couple to really talk about, and that is Meagan and Jordan. Now, Meagan has, come out and called herself Sparkle Meagan. And she is full of bull to me. Y'all know I'm gonna get into it, right? Do I got my kid? I got my kid to diagnose, okay? Hold on, let me get my kid. Because I think that she has some heart problems. So let me just bring this on out real quick. So we can go ahead on and talk about Meagan and her heart problems. Let me get my stethoscope. Because she needs some heart checks. So look, Meagan, comes into the pause, right? And, it is apparent from her that she absolutely wants to be worshiped and adored for her money, but she doesn't want to be worshiped and adored for her money. She came out as in my opinion, as a man, right? Women, we've all dated men who lead with their pocketbooks. And in my opinion, she definitely needs to get a hard check because Meagan led with her money. Unfortunately, she's led with her money with a man who doesn't care about it. And maybe if she had stayed with the gentleman that she was with, hold on, let me get his name real quick. Y'all come on and chat with me, okay? Don't sit there and be quiet. She should have stayed with Mike Brockway, a 38-year-old real estate investor. Now, she indicated in the past that the reason why she did not want to date him is because he is what she is used to dating. Someone who has means, someone who does not have to hit a clock every day, that type of thing, right? But that is just absolutely that's, in my opinion, that's what she should have been dating. She wanted to date someone different, like Jordan, because she felt like she's always dated the same guy. But Jordan has a priority, and that priority is his son, Luca. And that is what makes him non-dateable or undateable for her, in my opinion. She wants to live this glamorous life that she said that she has worked her life for to get, right? And that's fair. You work your life to get that, then you deserve exactly what you get. She said that she was in the oil business And now, she is starting her own business. But of course, we all know that Jordan is not looking for that kind of lifestyle. He has a son. He is I believe, a real estate agent. No, he's not. Is he a real estate agent? I can't remember what Jordan does. Let me see. Let me look it up. Hold on, y'all. Y'all sit yourselves back, get comfortable, and we just gonna talk. Okay, so it says, according to his Netflix bio and multiple press sources, Jordan is listed as a service manager. Okay, they said the details of what exactly he manages are vague. Commenters note he hasn't disclosed much about the company, industry, or the scope. One article explains that in general, a service manager could involve bridging between customers and frontline staff. Okay. They say he has a side business beyond his service manager. He also appears to author children's books, or at least has a brand called Dear Luca, inspired by his son who has type 1 diabetes and aiming to support kids with diabetes. The book Venture donates a portion of its proceeds to help children with type 1 diabetes and provides resources for classrooms. Okay. So, he is a service manager, but Mike was the one who was a real estate agent, right? Let me take this off. And I got uncomfortable with it. So when I looked at this, I said Meagan dated with her womb. And I know that that probably sounds crazy, but that's exactly what I felt like Meagan did. She dated with her womb. And as soon as she heard that Luca had type 1 diabetes, she related that to her father. Now I don't know how active Meagan was in um taking care of her father, but it's almost like, she wants a do-over, if you know what I'm saying. It's like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't there. I wasn't armed enough to, help with my dad or whatever, what was going on with the dad with the diabetes. But she said that her dad sent her Luca, and I just don't believe that. And I believe that she, has had everything in her life, right? This is my opinion. Y'all let me know y'all's down in the chat. But it seems like she's had everything but being a mom. And so when she met Jordan, and he lived with his son. He played the sympathy card, and she led with her money. She led with her lifestyle. I have a car, and the emblem on my car is encrusted in diamonds. So it seemed like to me that Mike was a better fit. She did like Mike more, but she didn't feel like Mike was giving her everything that she needed from him, right? And so of course, she went on. Anyway, so let me get into, what I want to get into with this couple. We are now so Meagan, um she had, according to many people, a grounded connection. They, her and Jordan bonded over loss and family. Jordan's son Luca has the type 1 diabetes, the same condition that Megan's father had. And Meagan said, our love feels like purpose. Ciao, bye. In Mexico, they were affectionate with one another, right? But they was quiet. Meagan told Jordan that we built this with words. Now silence feels very heavy. And Jordan replied, I'm tired. I work. He said he don't always have words. So I think that one of the things that Meagan did not realize is that this is a show. Hey, how you doing, Nikki? I agree, Auntie. As soon as she heard about the child's medical issue, she was hooked, taking it as a sign from dad. And I don't think her and Jordan were compatible. Absolutely not. And neither did Mike. Now, one of the things about it when they were in the pod, right? it had came up, right, that, he had tattoos. He said he had little small ones. So for me, that was extremely deceptive. There's no way in the world that I would have been happy. First of all, I don't think I would ever go. Or matter of fact, I know I wouldn't ever go on a show like this because these people lie, lie, lie. Megan's whole fairy tale was that, in my opinion, like I said, it was a do over for her dad. And because, somebody got heart disease, and maybe my mom or my dad had heart disease, don't mean that I'm destined to marry somebody with heart disease. And I'm not saying this in a way that's being cruel, and I hope I'm not coming off that way. I'm just saying, like, she saw this thing and she related to it, and I think that she absolutely dated with her womb. Again, Megan has everything but a child, and maybe she feels like her childbearing years are just about over. Maybe she doesn't have ambition to have a child. I don't know. I don't remember her talking about that. Y'all let me know down in the comment section. But she absolutely was dating Jordan with her womb. And there are many complications to that because this child has a mother who is absolutely gorgeous. Her picture has been put out there in the street. And she doesn't even really know why this relationship between Jordan and the baby mama did not work. But all of a sudden, she's like, oh my God, my dad went through that. I can relate to that, woo woo woo. But you're not, but you've never raised anybody, right? Number one. And now you're raising a child that has, type 1 diabetes, which is very difficult to deal with, right? Jordan talked about him being on pumps and, different things like that. Even when, later on in his episodes, she had an opportunity to meet Luca because that was really what she wanted to do, because she crashed at the place. As soon as they got back, she was basically pressing him to go and see Luca, right? But of course, Luca got a mother. And so he was telling her, like, look, we've got to work this out. I'm going to make an effort to make sure that we get to meet, you get to meet Luca, right? And so she's like, hyperventilating basically and saying, this is going to be hard. But honey, this is all you've been talking about in the pods, is making this connection, that your dad put together. Now, the mother and them was doing the same thing. Oh, he's got type 1 diabetes. Oh my God, my husband had that. Whoop, 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 whoop. So this whole family, right, is just really more. I don't know what it is about, that connection that they seem to want to have with him and this type 1 diabetes. I don't understand it. Anyway, he is letting her know that this is not a fantasy. Luca is not a hobby. He is not your dad. He is not someone that you're going to be able to take your money and spend your money on, right? And everything's going to be good. So she was talking about that her love language is giving gifts. And he was like, well, that's not my love language. Our love language is quality time. So, of course, you all know that there are 5 different love languages. Hers is, I want to be able to spend money, splurge this money on him and buy Luca this, that, and the other. He said, look, that's not where Luca is, right? He would rather have an experience than for, to have a gift. If you give him $100 Lego set, he's going to be more interested in the time that he spent with you. And that's most children, right? Especially when they're at his child's age. They're looking for spending that quality time. You could take a child down to the park, right? And be on the swings, and that child will be more interested and more happy about that at the end of the day than it would if you took them to the store and was, shopping and buying different things. That's not quality time. And of course, Meagan doesn't know that because she doesn't have any kids, and it's okay. But one of the things that I did not like about Jordan was the fact that he lied about how many tattoos and stuff that he had. I'm gonna go back to that because for me that would have been a turnoff. If you say that you got little small ones, then I absolutely would be mad if you came out with not only two sleeves, right? A sleeve on each arm, but a leg sleeve as well. But she thought that it was the cutest thing, and she thought that he was cute. Knick knack knack, patty rack. I guess you would have to be there and see him in person because he seems just a little awkward to me. Y'all let me know down in the comment section because he seems very, very awkward to me. But anyway, I digress. So, she's into, wanting to meet this child. She kind of spaz out at the place. He tells her that he lives, has a humble life. He said that he has a 1-bedroom apartment. He drives a Kia. Like he's all the things that Meagan doesn't want. But Meagan is determined, right, that she is going to see this father thing out. She's going to see this diabetes out, even though this man is not, right, what she is used to dating. She is thinking that if I date someone the opposite of what I'm used to dating, then I'm going to be happier with this person and that thus fulfilling my dream. Right. And I don't think that. I think that, you have to date somebody who is familiar with your lifestyle. This girl, I don't know how wealthy she is. I know that she has a home out in LA and she is going to now try to purchase a home with him. She takes him to this house that's like, almost $2 million, and he's not impressed. He thinks that it's too much house. And so again, it just shows the big contrast between what he thinks is important as opposed to what she thinks is important. And so she's like flashing, y'all. It reminds me so much of when you date a guy, right, that may be older than you or more wealthy than you, and they think that taking you to fine restaurants or flashing their home and their cars and all of that kind of stuff is what is going to impress you and cause you to be happy in a relationship. But if you're not that type of person and you are used to living a comfortable life, stuff like that don't impress you. Impress you, right? Like a sports car doesn't impress me because that's not where I am, right? I'm at generational building, generational work. Well, I'm not at flashing their cars, hanging out, being at the beach, club night, all that kind of stuff like that. When the older you get, well, for some people, the older you get, those things are less important. Who cares that she wants to sparkle, and then she's meeting everybody, and she's like, I'm Meagan, but they call me Sparkle Meagan. Like that's so immature and childish to me. That's where I am with it. I thought it was very immature. And so now everybody is in the room like, okay, who is this Sparkle Meagan? And most of the men were turned off by the fact that she was calling herself a grown woman, calling herself Sparkle Meagan. Like, grow up. Like she really needs to grow up, in my opinion. Y'all let me know downtown in the chat and in the replay of what y'all think. But I just was like, this is just so immature on so many different levels. And it's just putting your money out there. Like what did we really learn about her as it relates to her values and stuff like that? I don't remember learning much about her, but anyway. Okay, Maisie, that was nasty. So she was telling him that, we built this with words. Now silence feel heavy. Jordan replied, I'm tired. I work and right. He said, I always don't have words. So when they get back in different, their mismatch deepens even more because Meagan wanted daily check-ins and Jordan needed downtime because he is a service provider. She doesn't have anything that she's doing during the day. She's saying that she may be skiing. She may be with her friends in Aspen. She may be doing this, doing that, flying here and there for 4 or 5 days and stuff like that. Right now, she has a place out in Los Angeles, but she's living with a girlfriend right now in Colorado. So she doesn't even have roots there, but she wants to take him around to all of these places that he does not and cannot afford and really does not matter to him. Right. And so Meagan wanted him, Jordan wanted downtime. And she was like, the reason why I was attracted to you, number one, was the little boy. Let's just be serious. But she said that was because of his jokes and stuff. But how about y'all know that when they are in these pods and stuff like that, this is not real life. It's not real life. You're on vacation. You're somewhere where you don't have your cell phone. You're there for, what is it, y'all? 10, 11 days, however time they're there. This is not real life, Meagan. So the Jordan that you're getting right now, right, is not going to be the Jordan that you're going to get when you go into real life. You're just not going to get that from him. And he had to basically tell her this is not real life. But for her, because of her wealth that she threw all over the place, this is real life for her. And he's trying to ground her because he is grounded in reality. He's grounded in reality. But she equated him being quiet with him being distant from her. He equated her questioning him with pressure. This is too much pressure that you're putting on me. I have a job where I'm talking to people all day long. And so when I get home, I want downtime. And Lord knows I know what that means. And average, you know what I'm saying? For me, when I go to work in the morning, I am driving over 20 miles and 20 miles back. Over. And the last thing I want to do is be having a whole big old conversation with you. I'm spending my Sundays getting myself ready for my Mondays, my Tuesdays, my Wednesdays, my Thursdays, my Fridays. I'm meal prepping. So, but if I was in a pause, I'm kicking it. But when it comes back to real life, when you got to get back into real life, because real life for her is a fantasy. It's a life that many of us dream of having. But for him, real life is, I ain't got this to do. I got to get ready. And plus, he has taken his apartment and made his apartment Luca's apartment. You could tell that she was stunned when she saw that he was living in the living room and he had prepared this special place for his son Luca. But that's because he wants Luca to have a good life. For her, she's saying, you know what, we could get a house for 1.2, 1.5, 1.7 million dollars, and he can have a whole wing of the house that's a playpen. This is not what Jordan wants. Right? Because right now he is co-parenting, right? His baby mama that moved on, got another baby and a man, right? And so for him, this is real life. Ain't nobody got time to be playing with Meg on her goddamn sparkles. Excuse me, y'all, but ain't nobody got time to be playing with her and her damn sparkles. And her whole little fantasy of taking care of this diabetic little boy is crumbling in her face because Jordan is putting things in place. He's putting boundaries there, as he should, because this isn't a game where you start introducing people to your children. If you're a real person worth your salt in the earth, you're going to be very careful about who you bring around your children, what the influence is, because you may be wanting to raise your children to be minimalist, right? You don't want them to, even if you can afford to buy them the luxuries in life, you don't want them to, every time you turn around, they got their hands stuck out and think that life owes them something. Life don't owe you it doesn't owe you anything. It was amazing to me when she sat there, when the two of them met, right? And she was saying how cute he was and, kissing all on him and stuff. And then she stopped mid sentence and was like, I used to have big breast implants. What? And I took them out, but I kept the butt. So what kind of life was she living? She said that she dated all of these wealthy guys and stuff like that and ain't kidding nothing about her. Nothing ever panned out right in those relationships. Was you sparkling or no? The two of them are not compatible. because the life that she wants, it eventually comes out that Jordan isn't for the bullshit. He comes home and she's like, I really want you to talk to me. And he's like, I don't know what to say. I just want to unwind. I want to unwind. I don't get to go to the Alps and ski. That's like not my life. I'm working all day. And when I come home, she said, well, what are we going to do? Just look at each other. He was like, yeah, if that's what we give. Just sit back next flick and chill. Don't mean we got to be talking. But she's like, okay, well, you were funny. I'm still funny, but damn it, I just got off of work. They argue over emotional labor, parenting styles, and time management. Jordan's parents asked whether Meagan truly understood the stress of raising a diabetic child. And Meagan said, I don't want to replace anyone. I just want to be part of the team. Really? But when he was talking to you about being part of the team and about the mother and stuff, you was pressing him, talk about, well, we only got 3 weeks to get married. What if I don't meet him in a 2 weeks period or whatever, right? She's pressing about being in this little boy's life because Meagan is dating with her womb. And you cannot date somebody based on anyway. So anyway, they ended up having this baby discussion. And so it went a little bit like this. So it was like, all right, I don't know where to start. Let's start. Okay. She says, I'm trying to get a conversation out of you is pulling teeth, basically. She's like, I need more than that. Like I just want a little more stimulation than just this. And she said, these one simple word answers, I want you to say something. He said, I don't know what to say. She says, I want to talk to you. And we've been doing these little dry conversations. And she said, and basically the conversations have been like next to nothing. I'm telling you that, Jordan, that I need you to give me more. He said, yeah, but I feel like you being abrasive with the conversation and your actions and the way you handle it and everything. And she was like, how's that? She was like, how do you want me to talk to you? He said, I would like you to be a little bit more compassionate to my situation. He said, I feel like, Meagan, you are telling me that I'm not even allowed to be tired. She feels like he's using I'm tired as an excuse to not have a conversation. She said, I don't like the fact that you say you're tired because we're both in the same boat. How, Meagan? How? When one day you in the Alps, the next day you traveling 4 or 5 days back out to California, you're hanging with your girlfriends. How you tired, Meagan? When you tired, Meagan? What you doing that's making you tired? How? She says, I'm exhausted too, and I'm tired of hearing that as an excuse. He said, it's not an excuse, though. It's in reality for people that work, Meagan. Remember work? He says, it's not an excuse. She said, I don't think that we're in the same boat. He said, your boat is way bigger than my boat. He said, I understand that you worked very hard to put yourself in this position. He said, I don't want to project my daily stresses because it's not fair to you. And I've told you, I would love to learn about your work. Like I want to learn. He doesn't want to talk about his whole life because he doesn't want to put the stress on her, but she's so bored because she ain't got else to do. And she said it's a huge part of what you doing at work is a huge part of who you is. And he's like, she said, I'm just feel like I'm grasping at straws, trying to find things to talk about with you. And he said, sometimes I just want to sit next to you and watch a movie. But he said it feel like that's a damn deal breaker with you. She said our whole relationship in the pods was based off a conversation, and I fell in love with you because of your jokes. And I like what we talked about, and that it was fun and it was easy. And then we go from that to like nothing, almost nothing. And he said, yeah, but guess what, Meagan? Sparkle, Meagan. This isn't the pods. He said his job is demanding. And the last thing that he wants to do after a long day is to have an abrasive conversation or feel like she's not appreciating him. I said, now that right there is a read. She said, well, I hear you. He said, I don't think you hear me. And that's the problem. When I tell you I'm tired, you need to listen. He don't feel like he need to be shot down to the ground because he's tired. And she says she doesn't believe that is fair. He said, Meagan, here's what it is. I need you to be my backbone, not something else that makes me more tired. She said, I get that, and I apologize that I'm getting on you about this, but this is what I want to say. You're always tired. And he said, that's fine. She said, you know what? I'm a rich bitch, right? No, they not gonna work out. She said, I'm not sure. That's what I thought that this was going to be like. I get that your job is more taxing. I get that you have Luca. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. And maybe, I mean, like, what I need is just a little bit of recharge time. Okay, Meagan? Meagan, I need some recharge time. So they was talking about sitting and looking at TV, and she was like, so what, we just gonna stare at each other? He said, maybe we are, Meagan. Maybe that's what we are. He said, but I'm talking in like 10 hours a day at work. And I don't want to come home and feel abrasive conversations with you. She said, but when you get home, I want to have a conversation. I want to hear how your day was. He said, that's fine. But after I tell you what that is, I just want to chill. Y'all know how it is with some days are harder than other days, and you just don't have a whole lot of conversation. Moreover, this whole little thing that they have found themselves in, when you come back to real life, you got to catch up. She said she want him to ask how her day was. She said, yeah, I go and play tennis and I'm bike riding and like what? She said, I'm constantly on the go. Like I'm going to play tennis. I'm doing these things. I could be in LA on Tuesday through Thursday. Then I could want to go up to Aspen with my friends for a couple of days and then get back and we go to happy hour one night. I would love for you to be joining me on doing some of that sometimes. How do you think life is going to be like when we have kids, Meagan? It's not just go, go, go. Like he said, like you really got to slow down quite a bit. He said, now I know you got the means to have a nanny and stuff like that, but I don't want a nanny to raise my kids. I want to raise my kids. He said, like Legos and Luca. That's my speed right now. I can't get up in the morning and play tennis on Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, travel to Italy with my 5-year-old child would literally be a chore. He said, your life changes completely when you have a kid. And for those of us that know that, we know for sure your life changes. And guess what? Your kids are always going to be kids. I don't care how old they are. As a parent, you're always going to be a parent. You never stop parenting. Don't nobody tell you that when you're pregnant. She thinks that she's going to come into this ready-made family and she's going to be able to get in where she fit in. She's going to be able to provide Luca with all of these things. Her mom and them are all excited about Luca, but he's saying, look, this Luca is not a toy. He's not something you pick up every now and then and you put down. I'm going through. This woman has, I can't be bringing Luca out the house because he got a stepsister. I mean, he has a sister, right? It like this is real. This is not a fantasy. Absolutely. Sugar 48 said, when I was in the military, when I got home, I called the washing the green off. I just wanted peace, quiet, and time to chill. And then when you got to incorporate a child, now he don't have the baby right full custody, but when he had the baby, he's made a comfortable home for Luca. And it is, the little boy is on pumps. He showed one of the teddy bears that he had that one of the mother's friends made, and he was like, it's cute, but it's sad because at the end of the day, when her and Jordan went to go and see Luca, right? They had a time with Luca. Luca stayed the night with them, right? She said that the pump was bothering her. She said that for the pump to be going off at night meant she didn't get a peaceful sleep. But the thing about it is, when you raise your children and they have different health things that are going on with them, it becomes the norm for you. Someone else who is spending the night or at your home, they can't make the adjustment on something that you've been doing for a long time. He is used to the baby's pump making noise. He's used to the different dings that probably go off to let them know certain things. She's not. This little boy coming in being a stepmother, because she said several times that she was going to be a stepmother. And I'm like, young, stand down. He flat out told her, this is my child. She dated with her womb the fantasies of being a mother. Something that maybe Meagan has thought that she's missed out on. But motherhood is not for everybody. It just ain't. And it may hurt some people, but it's just not for everybody. Everybody's not built to be a mom. There are moms and dads who do some of the most insane things to their kids because everybody ain't built for it. It is not for the weak. And it doesn't ever stop. It is a commitment that you get into, and you are with that, stuck with that commitment, not stuck, but that is a commitment for life, is being a parent. And it don't get easier. What you saying, baby? To be fair, he did bring his child up 58 times in the pause and went on and on about Luca and this and Luca and that. Absolutely, just like she did with her about her money. And so she led with her money, he led with Luca. Thank you so much, Miss Gordava 123. She led with her money. Everybody knew that she was rich and she was sparkle making. They all trying to figure out what kind of car she drive. And you're right, he led with Luca. And he appealed as soon as he found out from her that her father had diabetes. That is what they connected on. And that is not going to sustain a relationship, which is why she is finding herself saying, I need more from you. She has already told him that she is used to dating these guys with money and the relationships are empty. He flat out told her at the end of the conversation, all of those men that you was dating and stuff like that, that had you feeling all empty, that didn't work for you. That's why you chose me. I said, now he done dragged her down. He dragged her. He let her know that you living in a fantasy world. Luca is not your child. Luca is my son. Like a whole different person came out of him. And she ain't seen nothing. She ain't seen anything until she tries to discipline him or tries to tell him how to raise that son. He would have been a no for me. He would have been a no because he got baggage. And I'm too old for baggage. So he tried to, they started to try to get back into the swing of things, talking about the trash. He told her that, what has she done with all her money? She didn't go to Joe school. He said, am I quiet sometimes? Yes. Am I funny sometimes? Yeah. I like having fun. But I also love just laying in bed and watching a movie too. Going to sleep early, Lord Jesus. She said, I've worked my ass off to be able to live that life that I do right now, to travel and to have the schedule I want to have the flexibility to spend what I want when I want. She understands that life is about little compromises, but she don't think that he should completely block her out. She don't feel like she has to do a life overhaul. And he don't feel like she got to step down off her ladder to be with him. She says, I play tennis, I play golf. I like to go to nice restaurants. You said you like to go to nice restaurants too, but that you ain't never took me. She said, I mean, just bringing in some simple flowers and saying, here go a card. I was thinking about you today. I like all of that. She said, just take the effort, take the steps to plan a nice day for us. I mean, a fucking card. She said, you could come in the house and say, hey, I saw this card and it made me think about you. Here goes some flowers just because. As opposed to admin bringing in apology flowers. You can keep your apology flowers. We're going to get to them too. She said, those are the kind of things that I love. And you say that you like nice restaurants, Jordan, but I don't have a clue because we ain't been in none. The only thing you do is get up, go to work, and take care of Luca. So it just lets you know right now, though, Megan, y'all not compatible. These two will not be walking down the aisle together. When he made that comment and said that all of those guys that you was dancing with, how'd that work out for you? And that eyebrow went up. She was done with him then. Because she understands now, I think, and she should understand, you don't have a place in Luca's life unless he allows it. You're not Luca's stepmother. You have nothing. It's nothing. He doesn't trust her with his son like that because she lives in a fantasy world in comparison to him. He want to go to the gym. He want to take care of his son and he want to come home, mind his business. He want to shut his door, take his shoes and stuff off, and he just want to sit back, Netflix, and chill. He doesn't want that life that she lives. He said, I would love to do the stuff that I'm doing with you, but I don't have the time to do it. And I don't want you to step down from your social class or whatever to be with him. He said, but you said in the pods that this was not about money and you didn't want it to be about money, but everything you saying about out your mouth right now, Meagan, is about money. Jordan, basically, Jordan says, the love that they built in the pod and built in the pods can't survive a normal life. He said he shuts down when he feels like he's being examined, and Meagan admitted that she feared becoming another task in the things for him to do. This couple, I do not absolutely, positively see them going to the altar at all. Yes, she does, Clara. I was saying that. Meagan leads with her wealth. He is a normal, regular guy, not high end. Ruthie B says he needs to stay single. You right, Ruthie. Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am sick. And the way he talked, I thought he had full custody. He doesn't. Sugar 48 said he always made it clear that Luca was number one, period. And that's why for a long time when I had my child, I did not date. I did not date. Mm-mm. Because that was my priority. And it's different too when you are raising a child that may have, like my daughter was asthmatic. And so I spent a lot of time in and out of the hospitals and stuff like that. I won't go bring nobody around for that ride but her father. You don't bring anybody else. Like you don't have time, you know, to date anybody else or even to bring them in there, right? Because the priority is to make sure that your child is healthy. Your priority is make sure that you're listening for those little times when they're wheezing so that you can start our albuterol treatments and all of that kind of stuff. Like it is so different when you have a child who has health issues. It's a total different life than having a healthy child. I can't imagine having a child that is diabetic, but when you have a child that is diabetic and you're type 1 diabetes, and you're raising that child, right, like him and the mother, then this has been something that they're accustomed to. For her, she's going to be coming in like this, not your daddy. This is not your daddy's type 1 diabetes. It's not. This is him and the baby mother and the little boy having the type 1 diabetes. It's not the same. His whole life is around that little boy. Now, the mother has moved on, married somebody else, right? And she's beautiful. But Meagan thought that she was going to be able to get in, but you got to get in where you fit in, and you got to stand down and stand back and stand to the side and let the two of them do this, right? And that guy that you saw on vacation, that's vacation Jordan. Jordan absolutely, in my opinion, dragged that ass and let her know and set her straight. And she did not like it. Y'all, I doubt very seriously, like I'm serious, that what after the conversation that they had and just the negative words that she was using, right? Those was her words. That's her truth. I'm sick of it. We've got down to nothing. I think that she was done with him. I think that she laid in wait, waited for him to come home, and she wanted to say talkers talk and her speech. And when he says something about them rich boyfriends, that was it for her. I'll be really shocked if the two of them make it down the aisle. Y'all let me know if y'all think they're gonna make it down the aisle, because I don't see it for them. What you saying, Fergie, sweetie? He sounds like he needs to stay single for a while. I'm single and he sounds like me. He's not ready to include someone else in his life right now. Absolutely, Fergie 21. Great way of wrapping that up. Casey says she will say yes because she wants it to work, because Ghost Daddy told her this is a sign. He will say no though. I don't think they even gonna make it to the altar. Y'all, this season has been crash and burning. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this couple. I'm going to be back out in the next couple of minutes, and we're going to be doing another couple. Sorry, I don't have the thumbnails and all of that stuff up, but we'll go. Make sure you got your notification bells on so that when I do go live in the next few minutes, you'll be right there, because we're going to talk and dissect each one of these couples, and some of them we just going to just drag for filth, just point blank and period. And if you want to be part of that, make sure you got your notification. I'm doing Annie next. Miss Cordova 123 said, do Annie. We will do Annie right after this. Okay. Phoenix Rising says this was the worst season ever. I agree. Y'all give me a chance to set up everything, and I'll be right back. Love y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Bye.